give it up for Tawney. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry I stalked you.
I'm super mad. Good luck to you.
Thank you. So I have, can you hear me? Okay. So I have one sibling. I have an older brother, and he's about 2.5 years older than me. And so when we were kids, because we were so close in age, we tended to bicker and fight a lot, to the dismay of my parents, really. And so we would spend a lot of time together, but I think my brother really didn't care for that. I wanted so desperately to be a part of his world, and he so desperately pushed me out of his world. But when we would hang out, and we hung out a lot because we only had each other, I would do really annoying things because I played the role of the annoying one, and he played the role of the one to retaliate. And so I would mostly do stuff like, poke him in the shoulder and say, not hitting you, not hitting you, not hitting you, not hitting you. My personal favorite was to take my finger and put it in front of his face and say, not touching you, not touching you, not touching you, until inevitably he would haul off and hit me as hard as he could. And then I would scream out, Trip just hit me, and start crying. And our playroom was in the basement, and we would hear the basement door open, and my dad's voice would yell down the stairs, Trip, you can never hit your sister. I don't care how annoying she is or how much she deserves it, but you can never hit your sister. And of course, I heard the speech because I was right next to him, laughing at him, because I held all the power. In reality, because I worshiped my brother, he really held all the power. And so he had a best friend in the neighborhood, Josh, and Josh would come over often, and they had this movie-making club, and they had this film called Omar the Wizard, and you had to say it, Omar the Wizard, and that's how you had to say it. And I so desperately wanted to be a part of Josh's and my brother's world that when they were filming Omar the Wizard, I would just kind of walk around the basement, and oftentimes they would turn to me and yell, "Get out of here, Squid, not welcome." And that was my nickname, Squid. So anyway, that would ensue a lot of days. And this one time, I'm wandering around the basement like usual, and instead of them saying, "Get out of here, Squid," my brother's friend Josh, who I also had a crush on, was like, "Hey, Tawney, you want to be part of our movie?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's my moment." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to be part of your movie." And he's like, "Okay, you play the role of passenger on a train." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "No matter what happens, for the sake of the art, don't stop smiling." I'm like, "Okay, Josh." And so I proceed to sit down in this chair, and the camera's rolling, and my brother takes a pound of cooked pasta and dumps it onto my lap. At which time, and I'm smiling, at which time Josh opens a jar of red sauce, not cooked, it's not hot, and he dumps that onto the spaghetti. And I'm like, all for the sake of the art. Then my brother takes peanut butter and smears it on my head, and Josh comes over with a piece of bread and sticks it to the top of my head. And it's all on film for everyone to watch for art, obviously. So anyway, that happened, but after that hazing, I was a part of the crew. And in fact, my brother and I started to make movies without Josh even around because I had, been the grateful helper all along the way. So my brother and I started to make movies on our own, and in making those movies, some special effects were involved. And we also started to move the locale from the basement to other rooms of the house. And in fact, we moved it to my brother's room because we needed the role of a cliff. And the bed had this blue bedspread on it, and so we would say, "Oh, that's the waterfall." And so the special effects that we decided to include was fire. And It was the early 80s when I was a child, and there was no internet, and so we just experimented with different stuff that we could light on fire for the sake of the art. My mother, being a child of the 40s, used a lot of Aquanet. And now if you don't know what, some of you do, if you don't know what Aquanet, because I don't think they make it anymore because it's probably illegal, it's hairspray that's kind of like paint can spray. You can depress the can, this pink can, that's huge, and it never stops. It just, chemicals keep coming out. It is also highly flammable. So my brother and I, in his bedroom, decide to have a firestorm. And in the movie, my brother's hand is holding the Aquanet, and he depresses it, and the chemicals are coming out, and I light it with my hand while holding the camcorder, and flames start shooting out of the Aquanet. And we record it, and it's amazing, and we melt G.I. Joe, and Omar the wizard is victorious, scene, the end. So, after all of that, we decide to have a movie premiere for my parents. Because we're so proud of each other, working together to make a movie, we aren't just beating each other up. And we're like, Mom and Dad. And I distinctly remember making popcorn and being like, dun 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 dun, and we play the movie. And at the end of the movie, my brother and I are like so proud, and my dad and Mom say nothing. They're like stunned. And we're like, this is not the reaction we were expecting. Shouldn't you be proud of us for getting along? And my dad, after much silence, says, Trip, Tawney, do you realize you've lit a chemical fire in our house? You could have burnt the house down. And we were in huge trouble, and we got in huge trouble, grounded for life. But I still remember to this day, remembering that I didn't care. I was like, my brother is my hero, and we have made art together. Thank you.